Alright, this is just a quick update vlog of what the different surgeries entail, because I've shared this now with my friends and my family, and they're all questioning what is this gastric sleeve operation that I'm having and what does it mean. So I thought I'd just do a really quick update on how I'm getting on with my liver reduction diet while I'm at it, and then explaining what the surgeries are. So I'm now on day 7 of my liver reduction diet. Who knew? I didn't even realise that it had been that long. It's getting easier, still feel hungry, and when people are cooking food it's hard, and yeah, it's hard to cope with the smell of food. I find that really hard because I know what it tastes like and it makes me want it. But I've not been resisting. You know, obviously I've been resisting. I've sticking to the diet, and I've been swapping from the soups to the yogurts, and it's going okay. I don't mind it, I can cope with it, and I feel better. I'm not feeling as exhausted. I feel like I've got a bit more energy to do things, and yeah, so it's going okay. So the surgeries, I've said that I'm having a gastric sleeve operation. So a gastric sleeve is where you start off with a stomach, say, you know, the size of your fist, which is your average size of your human stomach, and they're going to cut away 70% of my, or 70 to 75% of my stomach. So I'll be left with a small pouch that will connect my food pipe to a tiny stomach about this size, which will then go into my intestines, and my food will go through the normal channels. So how that's different to a bypass is that with a bypass they reduce the size of the stomach to the same size, but what they do is they bypass some of your intestines, so they join the intestine halfway down, or a percentage down, to the small stomach that they've made. So they bypass some of that intestine, which means that the process of digesting the food and absorbing the calories and the fats and all of that you get from your food is reduced. So you don't absorb as many calories, you don't absorb any of the fats or the bad stuff in the foods, but you also don't absorb the good stuff in the foods. A couple of people have asked me why I'm not having the gastric band. So the gastric band isn't provided anymore through the NHS. That's originally what I thought I was going to have, but it's not provided anymore. I apologise if you can hear the swallows that are on my house. My phone's in the window and you can probably hear them. This is what I have to live with. So yeah, the gastric band is where they put a band around the top half of the stomach, so it would still reduce the size of your stomach, but so that the amount of food you could get into your stomach was reduced. But what they found was that the band was slipping down the stomach, and it was increasing. If you ate too much after surgery, it would just push the band further and further down, increasing the size of the stomach, which meant that it didn't work, basically. So they don't provide it anymore through the NHS. So my options were the sleeve or the bypass, and I've picked the sleeve just because I personally think that that's a better choice for me. So that's where I am now. I've as I said, I'm on day 7 of liver reduction diet. Everything's going okay. I've got my pre-op appointment tomorrow at the hospital, ready for surgery in 2 weeks, and so that means they're going to do all my, I'm having an ECG and some MRSA swabs and that sort of stuff to make sure that I'm fit for surgery, and that'll be it. So this was only meant to be a really short video, just to update people on the type of surgery that I'm having, and now that I've decided to share my story with everybody, I hope that this has been helpful if you're going to follow what's happening with me. And yeah, so I'll do another video in the week and let you know how it's going. Thanks.